that we have joined the Antisocial Network.
Yeah. Mask up, stay 6 feet apart.
Yeah, right. I'll let you do it.
Oh, that's a little better. Welcome once again to YeahUhHuh with Lisa, Phil, and Aaron. This week we are talking to Peter Gunn. He's a poet. He feels like female characters have not been portrayed properly in epic poetry. He wrote Amazons, an illustrated novel, a story about an elderly explorer and his son finding a lost tribe of Amazonians. Ooh.
Yep.
Okay.
20-year plus
Yeah.
military veteran, workout enthusiast. Oh, yeah. I saw the
says musician in his little bio there.
Musician. I did listen to parts of an album by his band, the Angellics. So we've done our homework to an extent leading up to this.
And we did not get a hold of the graphic novel. We are going to. But yeah, I didn't.
Well, it's still at work.
I'm
putting additions to it.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
But
an ongoing concern.
Peter, and why don't you kind of expand?
I guess you could say. I mean, I've been called a lot of things. I had a podcaster a couple of shows ago call me a polymath. I'm like, what's that? I had to quick look it up, like Google it, and they're like, oh, okay. Someone does a lot of things. I've been called a Renaissance man. I guess I could see, Leonardo da Vinci, did a lot of things. I guess I could see that a little bit. I don't like to shoehorn myself into just one area. When I know I could excel at other things, I get bored real easily. So you're like, I'll be good. We'll go. Let's say, for instance, when I was younger, woodworking, but then I got bored at it, so I need to go to something else. So that's probably the reason why. Is because I get bored, I get good at it, get bored at it, I need to go do something else. So that's probably why I jump around a lot like that. I consider myself a creator.
They all seem to be creative pursuits. Yeah.
Yes. For the most part.
Do you think that you might be on the spectrum?
Yeah, I'd say that. I'd say that. Yeah.
That's like
have character traits. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got the Henry Mancini, Peter Gunn theme going through my head right now. And I don't know if it's going to stop.
Yeah, he probably hears that a lot, right?
I am officially diagnosed ADHD. That's one of the reasons why I ask about things like that.
Funny. That's not my original name. It's my pen name / band stage name. And back in 2004, by circumstance, I wound up playing 21 blackjack with James Gandolfini. He came in, sat next to me.
Cool.
I know. It was like, and I was respectful. I was like, I let him do his thing, but as he was leaving, I asked him, "Hey, sir, if you had to do it all over again, his acting, and everything, what would you do differently?" He said, "Change your name, kid. Don't, especially if you go public." And then he walked away, and I took it to heart, so I decided to change my name when I went public.
Interesting. Big fan of The Sopranos. I've read that he was. You don't want to say difficult, but yeah, he was kind of he would call in sick some days, and he was kind of surly. He could be surly, I guess.
I don't like calling in sick being referenced to as difficult.
Well,
personally,
yeah. Well, who's to say? But big fan of his work.
I know it could be if you do it frequently, but if you're sick.
Right. Did you see the remake or the prequel of The Sopranos where his son?
No, I have not. No.
Man, he looks just like his father.
Gosh, his son looks like him. Yeah. Do what, Aaron? I'm sorry.
I haven't watched it either. It kind of came and went, and I forgot about it.
Yeah.
I think we went to the theater.
We were interested, but we did see the theater release.
Yeah.
But we didn't, Yeah. And honestly, I don't remember a lot of details about it, so maybe that's why we didn't watch the series. Do you?
There's what we watched the whole Sopranos. What are you talking about?
I know we watched the whole Sopranos. I thought you said
There was
talking
no
about the
Yeah.
movie.
the movie, yeah,
Yeah, there was a movie release.
but there was no series after the movie.
Right. Oh,
Okay,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, never mind
All right.
then.
All right. So back to the Amazons.
Okay.
You you I saw where you described them. Watched another podcast that you did. Um, 11 to 14-foot tall Amazons. Uh,
Mhm.
that's pretty uh, foreboding or intimidating, I guess.
Right,
I
right.
never really thought of them as being that large. But so, why do you feel like they have been kind of minimized in mythology and not really?
Well, for one thing, they made them human size.
Yeah. Well,
I
and
mean, how did Wonder Woman fit in?
But in mythology, they were
Well,
giants.
I think number one, they've been minimized. Well, because they're women.
Right.
hmm
Okay, they're women, so they're not looked at as powerful or you're not
Mhm.
something to be seen with awe. They're just women,
And they're
and they're just
portrayed by
it's
human
just
women.
Mhm.
yeah, and it's just like okay, they're basically if
Yeah.
you dig into them, I'd say they're the equivalent of the Spartan society. They're very warrior like. They would actually there's some stories out there where some would actually cut off their breast in
Mhm.
order to be able to shoot a bow and arrow better. That's how hardcore they were. Okay,
hmm
and then
Yeah, I'm not
the
doing that.
size comes into play when I was doing a lot of research about the Amazon, about the area, and this is where fact meets fiction. Now, this is actual fact. They have found giant skeletons in the Amazon, although it's been covered up by the media, so they try not to let it out. But they have found 10-foot skeletons in the Amazon.
Wow, I did
Yeah.
not know
Hmm.
that. Yeah, we
The
watched.
problem is, even on the east coast of America, they found that the problem is when it's reported, if it gets to the wrong people, like the Smithsonian finds out about it, they go in with their people, dig it all up, take it all, and then like no one's seen anything, and then put it away in a warehouse.
Right. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
have they been able to like date the
Hmm.
bones to a certain era, or able to isolate what?
Uh Yeah, it was a lot older than the Amazon itself. So, they're looking at thousands of years. But,
hmm
I decided to use it for the sake of the story because I wanted to project them in a more masculine light. So,
Yeah.
if you're a human male, you're a normal human male. Because men are born with certain advantages. Not only physical strength, a lot of us also have family names. We have society hierarchy. So, um, if you are high up in society and then you go into this society, they don't give a crap about your where you are in society. They don't give a crap about your physical strength because so it comes down to as a man is what type of a man are you on the inside. And that's the message I was trying to give is because otherwise they don't give a crap about you. There's one character in the first standard called Lynch. He's a rather big guy, always complaining, and that I used him as an example because he had no good characteristics as a man, and they disregarded him. They want anything to do with him.
Mm,
Hmm.
interesting.
Yeah.
So most of the things in media or in entertainment that have depicted Amazons are not plentiful, but we're talking Wonder Woman, of course, uh,
Hmm.
Xena, Warrior Princess, a few movies, just a few scant things. But those representations were primarily, with the exception, I think, of the last Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, I think was produced by a female. But for the most part, this is the vision of like Sam Raimi, a man. So what do you how do you think that affects the view of pop culture on Amazons? Does that sully the
Amazons
pot?
in general and women as a whole, you know,
Mhm.
are uh, are less than no matter what.
You think that's
Even in like, and I mean, it is a
Not
male
in the Amazonian society.
genre. No, no. But I mean, as a whole, in their depiction in our society,
yeah?
I mean, I'm sorry, I kind of took over that answer as a female. You know,
No,
I,
it's
you
I
know,
want to hear your answer as well.
uh, I'm in a female-driven um job, if you will. There are more females in my job than others, and my employer union, and I stayed for many years because I have state of Ohio retirement, and it's good retirement, really
Mhm.
good retirement. But I am not paid the equivalent of, like, okay, a male doing, I basically do data entry. I've been doing data entry for almost 22 years, and I get paid for a medical records job. Okay. Whereas if I was doing data entry in the world as a whole, I would be being paid higher
Yeah.
because it's a male dominated job. This is just a fact. But nationwide, my salary is commensurate with my job title simply because that's what they pay that job. And that job, like nursing, is less than.
Yeah.
I
Because
think
it's
I
predominantly
haven't been able to
female.
confirm it, but did they talk about actually making nursing not considered a profession?
They
Because
Yeah,
actually,
no, it was not
It,
a, what's the
yeah.
word?
a credible profession,
Yeah,
so you can't have a degree in it or something.
you
Which
can
is
still get a
just
degree. Let me.
stupid.
I'll
yeah.
research that in a moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good point. They
It's
did
just
do that.
not
Yes.
supported governmentally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's quite a
It's
few of
almost look
those
like they're
that
looking
would be
down upon it.
right,
And I
exactly.
see that too. I agree with you. I see that too. It's one of the reasons, like in the book, in the first stanza, one of the first jobs they gave the humans when they got there, okay, they were mucking up the stables. They were cleaning up horse shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good.
It's not a professional degree, nursing. No.
Not a
Okay.
profession.
I don't
Wow.
know how you could say
Which is
that.
just,
Yeah.
and what do you know what the others are that, Aaron, that there were a few that
Let's
they
see.
Well, but the point is that
said weren't
they
The
seem to
professional.
target.
article I see is all about nursing, really, and the
Okay.
shortage that's coming.
Okay.
So
Which
obviously,
is stupid.
you're sensitive to women's issues.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
it carries over from your
Yeah.
writing to, you know, apparently the way you look at current events.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
where does that come from? Why? How do you? You know, we all should be. That's a good example. We all should be. But I mean, in particular, how did that come about for you?
I've got a
Well, I
little more
can't
info too in a minute.
specifically.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Well, when
Peter.
yeah, go ahead, Peter. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
okay. I can't specifically say, but I mean, I will say one thing. My mother had a lot to do with it.
Mm.
I guess the best way I could describe her would be if you know the character Sarah Connor from Terminator 2. That's the
Mhm.
best way I can describe her.
Wow.
I remember
Wow.
my second grade
That's
teacher
my mom.
was scared to death of her. Like I
Uh-huh.
remember she said something to her, took her off the side. I don't know what was said, but after that, every time the rest of the class got in trouble, I didn't get in trouble for anything.
Mhm.
Wow.
I would not be surprised if she threatened her life, and it's the type of person my mother was.
So
Okay, yeah,
your mom was the muscle
Uh,
when you needed
my
something
mom.
done.
My mom. What is it? My brothers are a SEAL and a not Green Beret, but like a
Ranger.
101st Ranger. Yes.
Okay,
Okay. My dad, a Marine from Korea, came home, still had shrapnel in his body when he died. Okay. And people were afraid of my size 4 to 6 mom.
Right,
Okay.
right, right. She was a
She was
tornado.
she was a powerhouse.
hmm
And it's really hilarious. I mean, she was like 5'6", but she was so tiny. And I had a principal who actually retired when he thought about us coming back the following year. He took early retirement to not ever speak to my mother again.
Wow.
This is, I mean, we would end up in the office for some
That's
reason
funny.
because I was bullied a lot.
Yeah.
And we would be in the office and he'd see me in his little, and I'm like in second grade, like you said, first, second grade. And, and I would see his hands just shake,
Yeah. What
you
was that
know?
story you told me?
Yeah.
Was he the one that told you that made you eat cream
Oh,
corn or
yeah.
something?
No. Macaroni and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
When I was little, macaroni pastas, especially the thicker pastas and macaroni and cheese specifically, I would, it just, okay?
It was the texture probably you didn't like.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
something to do with it. But I would literally throw up. I couldn't keep it down. Well, that day for lunch, we had like chicken and we had that nasty little public school salad that they, make 3 days ahead, and it's been marinating in that questionable dressing, and it's literally like almost gum. you know, I ate the chicken. I ate the salad. I was not eating the macaroni and cheese. He chose to come to me, and this may have been the first interaction he had with my mother. But he chose to come to me and he's like, "Why didn't you eat your mac and cheese?" And I said, "It makes me throw up. I can't eat it." And he said, "Well, let's just go ahead and try, sweetheart." Well, I ate it. I threw up on his shoe. He calls my mother and he says to my mother, and at the time they would post the lunches on the website or whatever it was. No, they sent a
They had
paper home.
websites?
This is, yeah. Sorry, Aaron. Yeah, this was like 1971, 72. So they would send the paper home and my mom would know what our lunches were going to be. And he calls her and he says, "Mrs. Pell, your daughter threw up on me." And my mom's like, "Did she eat the macaroni and cheese? She shouldn't eat macaroni and cheese. It makes her throw up." And he says, he's like, "Well, and she's like, "Did you make her eat the macaroni and cheese?" Because they had an initiative to get kids to eat their full lunch. And he admits that he did. And she says, "Well, then
Basically,
what's the problem?"
Clean your shoes.
It's like, yeah, clean your shoes and get on with your life.
What are some of those other facts you found out, Aaron?
Yeah.
So, when pursuing a graduate degree, if it's a professional degree, you can borrow up to $50,000 annually, 200,000 total. If
Right.
it's not a professional degree, instead of 50,000 a year, it's 20,500, and half the total, 100,000 instead of 200,000.
Interesting.
And why
Yes.
would
All
they
part
do
of the
that?
one big beautiful bill.
It's a way of, it's a way of implementing the 2025 project and lessening females in our society.
Another little stocking stuffer in that big bill. But
in the how to put women down bill.
right. But Peter, who are some other maybe celebrity or political, or just who are some other like women do you greatly admire? They're in positions of power.
Well, I had an aunt that I admired very highly, and she was like my mother, very strong-willed woman. And there was a time in my youth when I got overweight. I'm only 5'3", so I'm not the tallest guy in the world. But at 12 years old, 5'3" about, and I was 230 pounds, so I was quite big. And my aunt had seen me for a couple of years, and so she'd seen me before the weight gain, and she saw me. Um, she cut corners. She said, "My God, man, you look like shit. What happened to you?" And she just like her saying that hurt, but I needed to hear that because everybody was nice to me. Like, no, you just need to lose a couple pounds. Everybody was nice about it, but she just didn't mince any words, said it like that, and I needed to hear that. And I to this day am thankful that she said that to me. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so was that kind of the inspiration for your kind of lifelong dedication to health and fitness?
Well, yeah. After I decided to do something about it, and start losing the weight, got into the gym, I fell in love with bodybuilding, and I found it fulfilled me creatively, sort of like treating your body like it's a piece of clay. So you get the shape and mold it into the shape and size that you want to, and I fell in love with it. I just think it's a beautiful sport, and if it's done naturally, that is.
Right. Without steroids and that type of thing.
Yeah.
I remember that burst into popular culture because of Arnold Schwarzenegger, the movie, the documentary that And I remember kids. Do you remember this, Aaron? Kids at school that would carry around bodybuilding magazines. You'd look at these dudes that were like leafing through
Yeah.
these magazines, and some of them were in sports or I remember Mike McCarthy maybe. Yeah, I mean, it really kind of exploded into popular culture. And it's a unisex sport. I mean,
Yeah,
male
to an extent. Like when I was,
There's
I
plenty
guess,
of female bodybuilders.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. When I was 11 or 12, I just want to speak to that. This is one of the things. My I was developing already at like 11, and my brother had gotten into mild weightlifting. They'd gotten him a bench. He was 5 years older than me, and he like put me on the bench, and I was able to immediately press 120. And my mother found out and lost her mind. I was not to touch those weights because it could affect my development as a girl. And that's where I think I think that strongly affected me as far as
That's very old school thinking. I
Right.
understand where they're coming
Well,
from.
yeah.
But yeah.
And she grew up. I mean, her grandmother was 13 when she got married
Oh my gosh.
because and she was actually on the marriage market at around 11 because the women in my family, shall we say, develop early. And when a woman starts in that culture in Appalachia, when a woman becomes a woman, you know, no matter how old she is, she's marriageable because
Why
she's
does it sound
free.
like we're describing we're waiting for a piece of steak to age to be the right age
Yeah.
so people
That's
could have
exactly it. You were marriageable. Plus, I do believe the fact that, uh, girls do have a tendency when they start becoming a woman. Uh, let's just put it on when they start menses. They kind of do have a tendency to become little bitches.
Yeah.
And why not get that little bitch out of your house? Marry off.
Now I will say this, genetically it
Mhm.
is normal for a female to have
Mhm.
some animosity towards her parents, and that's
Right.
genetics because that's made to get her out of the house so no inbreeding
Yes,
occurs.
exactly.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Interesting.
I've always thought that
Well, okay,
that
so my
that
sister,
asshole teenagers are a
Yeah.
way of separating you from your
my
parents.
sister
That
talks
explains my
about
daughter and my wife when she was a teenager.
Oh yeah.
my
Oh
my
yeah.
sister talks about she felt intense pressure from my mother to get out of the house when she reached a certain age.
Right.
It was like, you
Like
need to,
around 17
yeah,
and
like really
yeah.
young, like compared
Right,
to my brother,
16,
or
17. Yeah.
myself.
Philip and his brother were not, they were fine. You can stay. Philip is actually why his brother left because his brother was 12 when Philip was born and they shared a room.
Yeah.
So,
That would be hard.
18
Looking
years
back on it,
old.
that would be hard.
Yeah,
for me.
18, 6. You're sharing a room with like a 5, 6-year-old.
Yeah.
At one point,
Although
Philip found his magazines and showed his magazines to his very, very, very Bible thumpy grandmother.
Oh no.
he,
Oh
he, holds
no.
it- he doesn't talk
Yeah.
to me to this day, really. Not that,
Right,
Oh.
right.
never.
Yeah,
But-
there has been a schism.
So, did you do this bodybuilding professionally? Did you do shows and stuff like that?
Well, I did my first show when I was 18, and I've learned very quickly that I had to make a choice because I saw the guys that were on steroids and then the guys like myself that were not on steroids. I had to make a choice. I decided not to do it. It did stop me from competing. I still kept going into it, but I knew where I would place. And it wasn't until I joined the military then I knew these guys weren't on steroids. And all of a sudden I started placing higher, like, oh, gee, I wonder. Yeah.
Right.
So, I'm glad you brought up the military. I'm interested in that because you have 24-year, was it right? 24-year career in the Air Force. Was it the Air Force?
She's short of 21 years, so 20 years, 9 months. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how did that like PK Seth talks about the warrior ethos? I mean, how do you carry your experience in the military into your creative endeavors now? Um, whether it's the Amazons or the music or whatever.
Well, me getting into bodybuilding at early age, not only it taught me discipline, it taught me the advantages of diet, it taught me the advantages of timing, it taught me the advantages of getting my ass up, at a good time because I wanted to do it. So it instilled discipline in me at a very young age. I had people when I was 16 tell me I act like I'm 40, but I started learned to love it. So that when it came time for me to go into boot camp, okay, it was like water off a frog's ass. It was easy for me, in the Air Force they call them training instructors, okay, in the Army they call them drill instructors, the guys that are there to yell at you, okay, to train you.
Mm-hmm.
And the training instructors did not like the fact that it was easy for me. They said go do push-ups. I said no problem because I've been working out in the gym for so long. It was go run 2 miles. Oh, only 2 miles. It was my. I didn't say it to them because you don't want to have an attitude, but that was the way I treated it.
You don't want them to say
And
make it 10. Yeah.
yeah, I know. But then towards the end, like I want to say, with like 2 weeks left of boot camp, they had this young man that was very intelligent. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that they brought him into our flight and said his name was Trady Manis. And I will never forget his face. 'Cause you want to talk about scrawny. His arms look like pipes. Big glasses, thick Coke bottle glasses. But very smart young man. And they said if he's been recycled twice, so if you get recycled 3 times, you can get out of boot camp. Okay, and he's they gave him to me and said if he doesn't pass the PT tests, you won't pass.
Oof.
I'm like,
Huh.
what? I'm like, what? You got to be kidding me! But the fact that it was easy for me, they didn't like. They felt it. I guess it was like a slight, like they weren't doing their jobs effectively enough. So like, here, we'll give this to him. Now
Oh,
have fun. That sort of thing. And
Their job's to kind of break you during that time.
yes, exactly.
Right.
Right,
Push
right.
my
And how
limits.
is it if you're doing it well? How did they break you?
yeah.
Well, they never really quite broke
Yeah.
me, but I
They
had
made
to
it-
sit
they
down
made
with
him-
with
they made him
Trading
fix another
Manis to
guy.
figure out what was going on, and come to find out, he didn't understand the basics of muscle atrophy and muscle building and endurance building. When it started hurting, so when the lactic acid started kicking in, he felt that pain, he stopped.
Yeah.
That's what was happening. So I
That is
had to
understandable
actually.
for me.
This is where the bodybuilding came into handy. I told him what was going on in his body and what he had to do to get past it. So every morning we went out 2 hours early. So that means I was getting about 3 hours of sleep every night, and we went out there and ran, and I got him to pass the PT test. Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, so they took they weren't satisfied that they were breaking you, so they actually kind of escalated the game
Yeah.
by putting this other guy under your responsibility.
Mhm.
I guess what was that? Full Metal Jacket. They kind of
Mhm.
did that with Gomer Pyle, and
Yeah,
remember
they did.
they
Uh-huh.
tried to turn him into a marksman, so they took a more model soldier, and
Yep.
he became his responsibility. And well, we all know how that ended, but but no, that's fascinating.
Yeah, because I can see how if you can't get the training, if you're not like a good teacher or a natural teacher. So I'm guessing that you are somewhat of a natural teacher, you know.
Well, I'm more of an empath. I'm more empathic towards people. I
Right,
sit down
right.
and talk to them
And
versus
then
just
that's another
bark orders.
right, and that's another people on the spectrum tend to be more empathic, you know.
Mhm.
I mean, in classes, I would get done with my homework, yeah, hmm and and I would just be sitting there, and I had the teachers basically sit people that were having trouble with the work around me, and kind of like say, "Hey, ask Lisa."
Yeah. Well, there you go. Basic thing. Same thing. Yep.
Right, right. And what that does is it engages the smarter child,
Hmm.
so that they are not sitting there bored. Because, I'm sitting there with a book under my desk like this. And some of the teachers were fine with that, and other teachers were not. So they engaged me by giving me tutoring, in-class tutoring.
So it did more for, it enriched you too.
Right.
It wasn't just what you
Right.
could do for those other
Yeah.
students. It actually contributed to your
And
growth.
I think if I hadn't found the field that I'm in and been willing to go to college more, there's so many issues behind me not wanting to go to college in any way, shape, or form. We're not going to get into that. There's an episode.
Yeah.
But yeah. And it was after I started like tutoring, especially in high school, that I started getting a little more respect and a little less bullying.
Mhm.
Well, here's a question, and I think it should be an apolitical question.
Mhm.
And but I think it's interesting, and I want to I want to get the feedback of veterans. Thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you for your support.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But this is not a political show, but I think everyone's curious. What real options and how difficult would it be for a soldier to reject what he believes to be illegal orders in the heat of combat?
Do you think you would have? Do you think you
It
would have?
depends on the soldier. Now, let me tell
Right.
you, at my instance, okay, I was just, like I said, I told you I was just 20 years and 9 months. Now, I had planned to stay in. When the COVID vaccine came out, they made it mandatory. I said, no, I'm not taking it. And everybody looked at me like, how dare you? And they tried to pull me into the commander's office and yell at me like I was 5 years old. And I'm not taking it. It's an unlawful order. So they forced retired me.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
But
there
I
you are.
refused to take it. Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
did your I want to ask this because physical things do affect our lives. Do you think your height had any impact on your career vector, etc.?
Well, you have to be accepting of social norms.
Right.
Okay. And there's also like hypergamy. You understand what that is? Okay. So
I actually don't know that word specifically.
okay, you're automatically going to look for leadership or look up to or desire people more that are higher or taller than you. Okay, in a higher status or
Okay.
height, physical height. So that's fine. You have to understand that when you're short like me, you may have to prove yourself more. Which I had no problem with.
Isn't there a
It's
maximum
just a matter
height
of
for
me being
pilots?
myself. Yes, there's a maximum and a minimum. Yes, because otherwise, they will hit the canopy. They can't be touching it. Yeah, especially.
Yeah,
Well, I worked on fighter jets my entire career, so that's very important there.
Now, what did you do on fighter? I mean, what did you work on?
I guess in civilian terms, you would consider me an aircraft electrician. I worked on the electrical systems and modified them and upgraded them and did repairs. Yeah.
Yeah. Philip's
My
father
dad was a crew chief on a YuH helicopter back in.
Great. Yeah.
And Philip's dad was a airplane mechanic in Korea.
Right.
And they are Hueys.
Reconnaissance.
Which is
planes.
that's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
What? Huey helicopters?
No, that your dad worked on Hueys.
No. Aaron's dad.
My dad worked on.
Oh well, yeah.
My dad worked on Piper Cubs. I think they were. They were reconnaissance planes in Korea that would go look at field positions and come
prop
back.
planes.
Yeah. He lost one man, and it devastated him because he worked on the plane, and the pilot couldn't clear a mountain when he took off one day. But
and I really do think he felt some kind of responsibility, even though it couldn't be proven.
He did, yeah. But but I mean, you have so many hats. So I'm wondering about the music. We do a lot of music on our show. That is kind of our staple.
Yeah.
And you're in a band called the Angellics. Now, are you the lead guitarist?
Yeah, I've been putting in all the lead guitars. Yeah.
Okay. And is there an album?
There is an album.
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Let's see. I have it in my notes here. Raising Hades.
The musical style.
Raising Hades.
It's 80s. It's 80s style.
Okay. Like
kind of
glam rock kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. But we have a message in every song. So we're not going to be singing about cherry pie.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's cherry
Yeah.
pie guy. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was I did listen to
No
5 or
spandex.
6 tracks, and it reminded me of Steve Vai, kind of
Cool.
like the post Metallica sounds, like maybe Queensryche, maybe even Survivor. Very vocally driven. The singer was very good. It was very
That's Leo. Yeah.
F. Leo. Okay. So are there some of the inspiration? I mean, like I mentioned, those bands are like hair metal, not hair metal. I hate that term because I don't like a lot of hair metal. But to me, it was more it was more substantive than like Rat or some of those other bands. But
I mean,
what are some of your musical inspirations?
Well, oddly enough, my musical inspiration is the same as my poetic inspiration is David Coverdale from Whitesnake. Okay, because not only did I love his vocals and love the sound of the band, but then if you actually read the music, read the lyrics, okay, it's a poem, and that's where okay, I'm going to put that same energy into this band, and I'm going to, because I mean, I'm a poet. I have hundreds of poems written, so I just grabbed from what I had already written and then modified slightly, and then they work beautifully as songs. And I was like, well, I was surprised. Everyone was surprised. Everyone can't believe it. Yeah, it worked out so great.
I've always thought songs are basically poems set to music.
Yeah, if you think about it that way, yeah.
I mean, in a sense, I feel like iambic pentameter is a type of music.
Mm-hmm.
In a very
rhythm.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
There's a rhythm to it. There's a
rhythm.
flow to it. Yes.
So,
is it like a poetry? Is it A B and yeah?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well, Mick Wall has a podcast, and he's very much a fan of the singer you just mentioned, and Whitesnake.
David Coverdale.
David Coverdale, right? He has some really good stories.
I remember Robert Plant said, David Coverdale taught me everything I know.
Yeah, right. Well, Jimmy Page worked with David Coverdale. But some of the stories Mick Walls tells about David, he loves him too. He loves him on a personal level. They're like friends and stuff. But
have you ever met him?
No, I've never met him.
Okay.
Whitesnake always makes me think of Tawny Kitaen, of course.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, I mean, what young boy doesn't remember that? Yeah, remember her? Yes.
Yeah, her rolling around on a car. Yeah.
On the Jaguar. Yes. Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Which song was that? Still the Night?
Here I Come Again.
Here I Come Again.
Yeah.
I keep hearing in my head now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron, you used to have a nickname.
Knocked out Peter Gunn.
Oh, what was it? Mm-hmm. Aaron, you used to have a nickname for Whitesnake?
Oh yeah.
We were huge Led Zeppelin fans, and it's like it seemed like Whitesnake.
It was an affront to Robert Plant to us at the time. We outgrew that.
Yeah. They were,
I mean, you like what you like for music. Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with Whitesnake.
Yeah. I was still listening to Motown, and if I listened to music at all, my mom would turn on the radio, and that would be what I listened to.
Yeah. And we've established is, I think, the only person I've met that's tone deaf, literally.
Yeah, I've been tested.
Yeah. So do you do live music? I mean, do you perform at venues, or is it mostly studio?
No,
work?
Actually, when this whole started, I had no intention of starting a band, putting out an album. I'm redoing my Amazon's audiobook. So I brought in my good friend Angellics, very talented voice actress, okay, and to help me with it. So we hired like 30 voice actors, so, and then we got sound effects. So I'm like, this is going to be a big production. It's going to sound like you're listening to a movie. So I'm like, great, okay. What else does a good movie have? A soundtrack. So I'm like, okay, Andrea, you got this. I'm going to go looking for a band, okay. And that's where I came across Leo Sather, the lead vocalist, on Upwork.com. And then he brought in Max and Ellis, the other two guys. Ellis is on drums and Max is on keyboards. And we did 10 songs together, as they were contracted to help me not only do the Amazons, but I did songs for the Sigma Squad graphic novel as well. And those songs will be released with the graphic novel. I mean, I think it's wonderful. If you not only buy the audiobook, but you get a soundtrack as well. It's more for your money sort of thing.
Right.
Anyway, after the contract finished, like, okay, guys, it was great. I really appreciate your work ethic. We're all professionals, and we got along real well. We're Christian-minded conservative men. Okay, so we all bump off each other's ideas, but we're for the most part, in 80-90% of the time, we're agreeing with each other. Anyway, so I was going to go, and then they said, hey, what would you say if you wanted to do an album together? And then we discussed it, okay, and out there in Germany, okay, so we're using the latest technology. So we're using let's give you an example with Heartbreak Hit. It's a song on the album, okay, it's me singing it, okay. Don't think that I'm going for 1 second going to be singing a cappella here and just break out, you're going to hear a nightingale or anything like that. No, but we used AI to up my voice. So I had to go find it, get the local studios to help me out and get in the studios and then get my voice to where the AI can then bring it to the next level and get it to where it needed to be. And it was fun. I couldn't talk for 2 days after that, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the process so much. Like, okay, let's make the whole album. Let's go do this. It's funny because they didn't think I could do it. They gave me the word, and if you listen to the song, you'll hear it, sugar tits. And I had to, because every 80s band has a heartbreak song. And they said, we need a heartbreak song from you. And you got to work in that word. It was sort of we need to see what you're made of move. Okay. And sort of a hazing. But I made it work. I'm real proud of the way the whole album came out. It's just, and the guys are just wonderful. They're so professional. And they're always putting a lot of effort.
How did you guys come up with the name?
Mel Gibson, Sugar Tits.
No.
No, the name of the band comes from my NTE when I was younger, where I had an encounter with an angel. And that's why I decided to call the band the Angellics.
Okay.
Angellics. Yeah. It's a good name. Look good. It would look good on the back of a leather jacket.
Yeah.
Yes. And there again, being an entrepreneur, I have a group of artists that are working with me. So I put them to work on that, and they did a phenomenal job with the artwork in there. I was so surprised. Like, it just worked out so well. I'm so pleased with it.
Copacetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we should mention occasionally we're talking to Peter Gunn, the author of Amazonians.
Isn't it?
Amazon's an illustrated novel, and
which will be available in audiobook. Yay!
Right. So Peter,
we'll get both.
We mentioned earlier that we play a little game at the end of the show called the Elite 8 Mini Bracket. It's kind of fun. You can abstain if you want to. We always leave that as an option if we want to continue to talk about some of your projects. But we have about 10 minutes left, so this would be the time to start it if we're going to. So would you want to play the game with us?
Sure. We're going to try.
All right. So this is a pretty simple game. Basically, we have 4 matchups. We go down to 2 matchups, and we have a championship. It's like a Marianne versus Ginger format.
Right.
We'll mention 2 things. The topic is top 8 actresses to play Wonder Woman. So we have live action. I tried to make the first 4 matchups a live action Wonder Woman versus a animated Wonder Woman. But I think you may know most of these actresses and be able to make a choice. So are you ready?
Okay.
All right. So I'll be the Wink Martindale of this so that there are no ties that we have to break. So, but our first matchup is Linda Carter, who was, of course, the iconic television Wonder Woman from the series that was locked into the 1940s, Nazi era, World War II era Wonder Woman, versus Maggie Q, who was part of the animated Young Justice version of Wonder Woman from 2007. Maggie Q, of course, has done a number of roles. Most recently, she did a spinoff from the series Bosch, where she plays like a hard-boiled detective. So Linda Carter versus Maggie Q. Peter.
I would say Linda Carter.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, Linda Carter. I don't know who Maggie Q is.
Me too. I mean, I had the hots for her.
Well,
Okay.
you should check.
And no disrespect to Maggie Q. Love her. Love the new
Yeah.
series, the Bosch spinoff. It is so good. You guys should look into it.
You talk about badass women.
Yeah.
Maggie Q.
Yeah.
You should check her out.
Yeah.
Anyway.
She's great.
But
and she manages to be badass with the softer side, which is so
is her
much.
last name the letter Q or CUE or
Q.
QUE?
It's the letter Q.
Just Q.
Okay.
It's probably like Peter's name. It's probably a nom de plume or whatever.
Yeah, more than likely.
But I would have said Wonder Woman 2 or Linda Carter. See, I didn't mistake her.
Yeah, she is Wonder Woman to me.
If I had a vote, I would have said Linda Carter, but it's a sweep. All right. So matchup number 2 is probably the second most famous Wonder Woman, and that is Gal Gadot, who starred in a series of movies recently.
I think she pronounces it Gadot.
Does she really?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's not French. She's Israeli.
Right.
She's Jewish. Yeah, she's Jewish.
Yeah.
She was in the Israeli army at one time, I believe.
Yeah, she took a lot of heat for that too. Yeah.
Right.
She was an IDF trainer.
Big fan. I like Gal Gadot. Versus Rosario Dawson. If you need reminding, Rosario Dawson was in Clerks 2. She's
done a lot of other stuff too.
She was in Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof.
Is she the one in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Guardians of the Galaxy, I believe. Yep.
What was she in Guardians?
I'm not sure if it's her or Zoe Saldana.
No, it's Zoe. The green one?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was Zoe.
Okay.
Not Rosario.
They were both in Death Proof, and now I mix them up all the time.
So, Aaron, where do you lean on that?
Yeah, Gal Gadot.
Okay.
As far as Wonder Woman goes, I don't think I'm familiar with Rosario Dawson's Wonder Woman.
Okay. Peter?
I would say Gal Gadot all the way.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to throw one to Rosario. Speaking to Girl Crush, if I'm going to go with the Girl Crush scene, I'm with it.
Right. She's kind of adorable.
Yeah.
Rosario Dawson. She's got like this real next
not
door.
To say that Gal Gadot is.
She's got a Star Wars series too, right?
Is like model beautiful.
Ashoka.
Yes,
she's Ashoka.
Rosario Dawson, yeah. Gal Gadot is model beautiful, and I don't get girl crushes on that type of woman.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if I had a vote, I would have gone with Gal Gadot by a shade because I really do like Rosario Dawson. But all right, so here we go. The third matchup of round 1. Now I don't know if you know Adrienne Palicki, but she was a star of the show Friday Night Lights. She was the girlfriend of one of the lead characters in the show.
Blonde. Okay. Yeah, she went through a lot of stuff on that. Yeah.
You should watch. That's outstanding show.
Yeah, if you haven't seen
that's better than the movie Friday Night.
About high school football.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's so well done.
Well, it's like it's a backdrop.
Mm-hmm.
It's all
all soap opera about high school football.
I wouldn't say it's a definitely, if you call it a soap opera.
I agree with Aaron. Yes.
Soap opera.
It's high end and very watchable.
Well, I always think
the actors are great.
If you believe the NFL,
I respect do speak highly of it, but I don't know that it's for me.
Okay.
I can see that.
Not a problem.
So I've given you, and then Lucy Lawless, who was in Animated Justice League New Frontier 2008. Of course, Lucy Lawless was Xena, Warrior Princess.
And Xena, we got our Amazon tie-in.
Yeah.
So Adrienne Palicki versus Lucy Lawless. Lise?
Oh, Lucy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Peter?
I'd have to say Lucy because she gave an ex-girlfriend of mine a chance, and one of my ex-girlfriends was in one of the series of Xena. So I'd have to say
very cool.
Oh my God!
Lucy
I wish we okay.
You can't miss her. She's 6'4".
Well, so you were a fan of Xena,
that's
right?
That's something that I wanted to ask you. So as soon as we're done with this, I want to ask you that question.
Well, just as an aside for a minute, we only got one vote for Lucy so far, but I really do want to talk about Xena for a minute because that movie that television show was so unique. I feel like it had trouble finding a niche because it had like the sensibility and sense of humor of almost like a Saturday morning cartoon or Saturday morning show, like Land of the Lost, for instance, if you ever saw that. But it had a lot of mature themes too. It had like LGBTQ themes. It had a lot of really gratuitous violence. You know, Autolycus was like the comic
Oh, he was hilarious.
relief. Everybody loves Autolycus, but that show I think was notable. I just feel like that it was. I think it was syndicated. It wasn't on a network. I never feel like it got the credit it's due, but it was very, and it still has a cult following.
It could have been better than it was.
Yeah.
One of the
Well,
things,
they talked. They tried to bring it back. They were going to do. They started a pilot, and they decided to scrap it because they couldn't recapture. I don't think they could recapture the campiness. The campiness was the thing.
Right.
It's like wrestling. All the
Like
best
Batman?
wrestling. Yeah,
Kinda,
like Batman. Yeah.
One thing I will say about Xena versus Hercules, because they were like kind of almost side by side. Hercules was not a powerful man, no kill. He never actually killed.
Right.
Whereas Xena, man, there's a body count. And I feel like that was almost disrespectful.
She was a darker
Like
character.
kill a Cyclops.
Hell hath no fury.
She was darker than Hercules, and you know what? Lucy Lawless's show,
I feel it was better for it.
trumped. You know,
Hercules.
Yeah, it
Hercules.
did. It did.
Much better.
Yeah. And
My vote's for Lucy, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so that's 2 for Lucy. Peter, do you want to throw one to Adrian Palicki?
He said Lucy already.
Lucy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I just wanted to, you know, because we neglected to talk about it, and I was one of the.
He said Lucy and then mentioned the ex-girlfriend that was on the show.
That was one of the talking points, that show in particular I wanted to get to. But all right, so here's our final matchup of round 1. Kathy Lee Crosby. Now I don't know if you remember her.
1974 Wonder Woman movie. Yes.
Yes.
She was she was a Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
In 1974. Yeah.
Oh.
Now I have to see
Pre
that.
Linda Carter Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was she said a host of, was it Real People? Was she Real People?
Yes. Yeah. She did that too. Yeah.
Beautiful lady. But just I don't know. I don't want to prejudice the vote here. Kathy Lee Crosby versus Kerry Russell, who did an animated version of a movie called Wonder Woman in 2009. Kerry Russell, of course, was in The Americans. She's in the current series on Netflix. I can't think of the name, but
at one point she almost destroyed her career by getting a haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that? What was that first show she got famous for? She was like 30 playing a 19-year-old.
But I can't remember the name
Felicity.
of the show. Felicity, yeah. And she famously got a haircut, and they just, not only her employers, the whole, like, they lost their freaking mind.
Yeah. So Peter, what do you like in this? Who do you like in this matchup?
Because it's from my era, I remember it. Kathy Lee Crosby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aaron?
Is Kathy Lee versus who?
Kerry Russell.
Kerry Russell.
Oh, yeah, I'm in the tank with Kerry Russell.
Okay. Lisa,
yeah, I kind of have to go Kerry Russell too. I have not seen the Kathy Lee Crosby movie, but
don't watch it. Don't watch it.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I know that Kerry Russell gives her all the things, and I mean, The Diplomat.
Diplomat. That's very good.
She is discovered her power.
Talk about a boss woman. The Diplomat.
Yeah.
All right. So
and The Americans too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Round 2. Okay. Here we go. This should probably be the final, I would imagine, but
harder.
this will make the final the sweep probably. Linda Carter versus Gal Gadot.
Ooh.
This is the tough one. Sometimes it's not the Super Bowl. Sometimes it's the
who goes first.
Yeah, it's the final 4.
Yeah. So Linda Carter.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a sweep. Linda Carter.
Yeah.
Linda Carter.
That's where my heart is.
Beautiful Linda Carter. Wonderful Linda Carter. All right. So the final matchup of the final 4 is Lucy Lawless versus Kerry Russell.
Lucy Lawless.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't picture Kerry Russell as Wonder Woman.
No.
I can't either, really. All right. So we got our championship.
Petite for an Amazonian.
Yeah.
Linda versus Lucy.
She's not 11 foot tall, that's for sure.
Girl crush versus girl crush.
Yeah, this is a real tough one. Lucy Lawless is badass. Linda Carter is iconic. So Lisa, let's let you start it off.
I'm going Linda Carter. Iconic.
Okay.
Icon.
Peter?
Linda Carter.
All right. Aaron?
You're Wonder Woman. Yeah, Linda Carter.
All right. So that one,
Yay!
that was a good one.
Buy a hair for me. Buy a hair.
A lot of great participants.
Wasn't close for me. It was going to be Linda Carter from the start.
Yeah. One last quick question, Peter, I wanted to ask. Have you leaned towards tall women in your dating, or have you just,
Oh,
Okay.
because
you
the
mentioned
one
one
was
of your
6'4".
previous girlfriend was over. No, it's an interesting question for me because I do see a lot of shorter men with taller women. I have a cousin who's 6 foot tall, and she
So
gets
you're
hit on
asking if he's a short king.
right. I guess, yeah.
Okay, let me explain to you how it happened. Okay,
Mhm.
she was a bartender at a local bar in Wisconsin. Okay, a very quite popular young lady. Okay, so I thought I wouldn't even bother. Like I would get drinks from her. Okay, and I'd talk to her back and forth, and um, I guess my working out she took notice of it because I used to go up, like when it was hot and my shorts would be rather short, and I guess she fell in love with my physique and she asked me out, and at first I thought it was a joke. I'm like, hey, that's a great joke. I started laughing, and then I, look at her like she's not laughing with me. She's serious, So we did start dating. Yeah, but I did not go after her. She went after me. Yeah.
Nice when that works out that way, because that's not very.
I just
often.
always wonder if it's an unconscious biological urge, if you will.
Yeah.
I think
It's funny for
coincidence.
working in the Middle East. I work with there's a few guys that are and actually working in the gym as a personal trainer too. It's when you're short and you're built, a lot of gay men automatically like you. So I've actually had to um, uh, actually go out of my
Almost wear a
way to
t-shirt
avoid
that
them.
says, "I'm
Go
not
out of
gay."
my way to avoid them. Yes, and like
Yeah.
in the Middle East, and then I've had to actually have chaperones come with me to meetings and offices because certain people had crushes on me. Yeah,
Had to break some hearts.
unfortunately, yes.
There was some broken dreams along the path. All right, so Peter, it's been a lot of fun. So we got just a minute and a half left. Why don't you tell us how people can get hold of your stuff and see your work and order your work, that type of thing?
Okay, great. You could go to www.puregun.net. You can see most of my projects there. And if you want to download the album, it's called Hazing Hades, and the name of the band is Angellics. It's on all the music platforms, like 24 of them right now. So you should be able to find it.
Okay.
Awesome.
Peter Gunn
And,
with 2 N's.
Yes.
So we'll let you have the rest of your Sunday. Go work out, do what you need to do, break some
actually-
hearts.
Pleasure.
Actually, we'd love to have you on Audibles.
Oh yeah. If you got an album that you like, we break it down. We would love to have you on to.
What we
to
do
it.
is, it needs to be an album that Philip hasn't heard in its entirety. There's a lot of them out there.
Okay.
That's the
and,
conceit of it is Phil hasn't heard the album.
Well, let's
Right,
let's
right.
hold on. Let's go ahead and run the exit, and then if we want to, if you hold on for a
Right.
second, then we'll talk about that. So
Mhm.
have a good Sunday, Peter.
Okay. Take care.